talk at the Phil Mechanic Building. Ursula
Where's
Fella,
that?
our Ursula.
Where's Phil
The
Mechanic?
one Down there in the art section, of down by the river.
Okay, it's not the Wedge Gallery.
I don't know. It might be. It's just that I know it's in the
There's a
Phil
flyer
Mechanic
out there.
Building.
Oh, I know where it is. It's it's the one across the street from
Well,
the
let's-
Wedge, I think.
Is there
I'm
a
guessing.
flyer there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so
All right,
if you
go
want
get
to
the
get
flyer.
some culture tonight, go to the art
Some
show.
culture. You want some culture? You go down to the
Yeah,
to
go
the-
down there and get it.
You
can
get some
your
culture?
there.
get some culture and see some art. See some
There you go.
see some artists.
Ursula.
Need to get either closer or further away or something.
It can't be read. Here, maybe we can have it in the light and zoom in.
Bring it. Yeah, we can bring it here. Bring it in the light, and put it. Look at the TV. Watch the TV screen. Watch the TV screen. Watch the TV screen, and put it in the TV screen.
Lower it.
Watch the-
lower it. Lower it.
There you go. What does it say?
What I heard had happened to me is the theme of her artwork. What I heard had happened to me. You know how, things happen to you and you hear, I heard this happened to you.
Oh, I want to see
Girl.
that. You wouldn't believe the things I've heard that have happened to me.
Really?
Oh, we're not going to go there. We're going to leave it alone.
It's at the Pump Gallery
The
in
Pump Gallery.
in the Phil Mechanic Building.
In the Phil Mechanic Building. On some street or anything like that? Does it say where that is?
Is it Lyman? I know Lyman's back down in there somewhere.
109 Roberts Street.
So Robert runs off of Lyman.
What I heard had happened to me. Well, I wish you had come on here and plugged this and told us, given us a little more detail and talked to us about it some. That would have been great.
Well, this
we
says
still
new
have
paintings by Ursula.
we still have 45 minutes if you want to run down here, Ursula, and go on. She's probably busy hanging paintings and stuff even as we speak.
If it were me, there's a whole bunch of rats in this picture.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps she heard she'd been eaten by rats or had been eating some rats. What do you think she heard by that? Pigeons and rats,
Pigeons are flying rats.
they say. We
The
seem to have plenty of
imagery
both.
here is an old bus station, a bunch of rats running away from the bus station, and pigeons in the foreground, and a sad-looking guy getting some tobacco out of a tobacco pouch.
Indeed. Whew.
So, John, did you do anything exciting in the Low Country over there?
No. No, nothing at all. Nothing exciting.
This is your portal to public access television.
Mm,
If you are a member, come on down for a cup of tea.
yes.
Well, I got some very good footage in New Orleans. I got some footage of a banker who had rebuilt his house right there at the levee, the 17th Street Canal breach in New Orleans, and he was talking about how it's been for him since he rebuilt his house, and how they lost 26 people in the neighborhood, older people, to the after effects of, they died from the after effects. Either they drowned or they died. 26 people in your neighborhood.
They got washed away or drowned.
Or whatever,
or-
because
Or got sick
if you had
because
lived
of
there,
it.
or you got sick afterwards from the heat and
The mold.
no water and the mold and the whole thing.
Right. If you
So-
think about that. If you could think that on your street and in your neighborhood you'd lost a
26.
couple dozen people, and then of all the neighborhoods around you, they probably are in similar situation and
yes.
stuff like that. You're talking about some devastated neighborhoods.
And some devastated people.
Yeah.
And that was my sense of the people there. There's a kind of a there is shell shock. There's real shell shock amongst
Post-traumatic
the
stress.
people walking around there, trying to put their lives back together.
Right.
And there's half the population there that there used to be. The death, even though there's half the population, the death rate is double what it was pre-Katrina. So with half the population, twice as many people are dying.
Wow. And that's not per capita, that's,
No,
Wow.
it's half the people
wow.
are there,
So that
and
means.
they've got
pe-
double the
So
population,
that
double
means
the
that
deaths.
four times as many people are dying.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm. That's something,
yeah.
isn't it?
And only part of it is drug deals gone bad.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it is, there's, over half the hospitals are gone. Charity Hospital is gone. And Charity Hospital, I don't know if you were aware of this, but it trained nurses from all over the South for years, probably ever since Huey Long built it. But, you know, I knew
Mhm.
people up in North Georgia, oh, I trained at Charity. I mean, they
Mhm.
used to train
Right.
people from all over the South. It's just interesting, but I did get some really good footage. I got that footage of this guy talking about his life, and this was an upper middle class guy, a banker,
Uh-huh.
talking about feeling really trapped at this point in his life.
It's not the new guy.
And then it
My
got some
friend.
really good footage of, probably one of the largest sculpture gardens in the country, outdoor sculpture gardens, is there in New
Mhm.
Orleans, and it's by City Park. And the gentleman who maintains the garden, who oversees the garden, was kind enough to take us on a personal tour through the garden. And so, you know, it's still going strong and in good shape, but I got some good shots of very famous sculptors.
Hmm.
So that was one of the good things that are happening there. So there's good and bad,
Mhm.
good and bad happening, but it's gonna be a long time before New Orleans is back
Yeah.
to normal. Maybe 20
Oh,
years?
Oh, if ever.
20
you know.
years? Well, things can
Well.
grow there with a vengeance, so maybe
They
the
can.
air, yeah,
They
they
can,
can grow
but
there with a
it'll,
vengeance.
they,
It's gonna be different.
it's gonna be different.
Yeah, never
Exactly.
be the same New Orleans.
How do you care for this tea? Just
I like it.
tell us your experience with this tea.
I like it.
And also answer. I'm sure that most of our viewers have been wondering ever since you came on. Are you native born Earthling, or are you actually an extraterrestrial in a human suit?
Okay. Well, I am a time traveling shapeshifter.
I see. Okay. Well, it's good. Doesn't it feel good to get it out in the open?
It does. It does. It's a real weight off.
All right, there we go.
Is it time traveling what?
Shapeshifter.
Mhm.
No, but you never asked me, was I a time traveling person?
Well, it was obvious. So, we're obviously from the same planet, maybe.
You're very accepted today. Everybody's like, yeah, you're like, you're one of us. Whatever, be it shapeshifter, whatever we are, you're one of us.
So I found my home.
Yeah.
I
The
found my
black sheep,
people. I
the
found my people.
extraterrestrials.
I bet you left some people in New Orleans. I bet you had some good friends in New Orleans that you hated to say
That's when I was staying with my girlfriend who
say
I've
goodbye
known for
to
25 years.
when you moved up here, though. I bet you had to say goodbye to some people that had been friends for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
When
It's
did
a
you move
city
up?
of great people, but in 1989.
Okay.
But I moved to one of the reasons that I came here was to escape the heat that makes you crazy.
Mm.
Crazy making heat
Uh-huh.
in the summertime.
And it does work to come up here, doesn't it?
It does. It's fabulous.
Uh-huh.
You know, I had a little business there, and after I would close a sale with the person, I would chit chat with them.
Mhm.
And where are you from? And when they would say they were from the mountains of North Carolina, I would just be pea green with envy.
Yeah.
I'm like, the mountains, the mountains. So they grew bigger and bigger in my imagination. So I flew up here
Mhm.
and was just totally smitten the minute I got off the plane and onto I-26 in the rental car. I saw it and I said,
Mhm.
this is where I belong. I can just feel
Yeah.
it.
I'll tell you another thing, a trick. There's a place, let me see, called Stony Fork, which is a creek that runs up between the Parkway and Barnardsville.
Uh-huh.
And there's a swimming hole on that, but there's a lot of creeks around this place, and there are a lot of swimming holes and stuff like that. But if there sometimes the summers here get hot,
Yes.
and when it gets oppressively hot, day after day after day. One summer I felt like I was sick. I thought, oh, I have some deadly disease or something, because I feel so bad that I just feel bad, and nothing would ever fix me. And I went up to the swimming hole, and I didn't even get in the swimming hole. I just sat on the side of the rocks and dangled my feet down from like my knees down into the water. And that cold water, and the water's cold.
The water is cold.
And it sucked the heat out of my body, down through my feet into that cold pool of water. And in just a few minutes, I felt good. And so I sat there a little bit longer, and I felt, better and better. And then I got up and I left, and I went back home, and I still felt good. And all I had to do was just go put my feet in the creek.
Mountain Creek.
Put your feet in the creek. That is the truth. And I wanted to share that because I know that there are a lot of implants in the area. A lot of people from out of transplants. What implants? Whatever they are.
Implants for those thing I got in my ankle. I've got an artificial ankle, which is very high tech.
Okay, that's the one we're going to put those ankle things on anyway.
Okay.
But we the implants, the transplants,
Yeah.
the not the bend. Oh, I see you moved the camera back so that the table would show. Now, did you do that?
No, I didn't do that. I haven't touched it.
Isn't that odd how it got there?
I don't know how it got there.
You know how I am. I want that table right down at the bottom, don't
Okay,
I?
well, I'm gonna go
I
fix
don't
it.
know. You don't have to move it. I don't care.
I'll fix it.
But what I was thinking was that the transplants, the bend heres and the moved heres. There's a lot of moved heres that they don't know. The bend heres know that what you do, that works. But before I'd been here long enough to know that, I didn't know the trick. And so if it gets oppressively hot, but now this particular stream, Stony Fork, some of my friends, some of the people that I hang out with consider this almost a magical spot, or a what would you call it?
I didn't catch that. It had my name on it.
Did it? All right, run that one again. He didn't see it with his name on it. What is it?
Maybe they're calling me to actual work.
What do the Indians call a special spot? No, I don't want to say a holy spot, but
a sacred spot.
Sacred spot. Some people think that it's a magical spot or a sacred spot. This particular creek,
I think
and it's
this
a really,
whole area is.
it is a really good creek. So, anyway, the point is, if you don't know about it, and if it gets hot day after day after day, the transplants, they're going to say, well, turn the air conditioning up. Well, you're missing out if you turn the air conditioning up. Don't turn the air conditioning up. Run barefoot out the back door, and down to the creek and stick your feet in the creek. That's the way it's done.
That's the way you do it in here. You just go hang out by the creek.
And it's a magic healing. It is a magic healing, and it will make you feel better than if you ran the air conditioner 24 hours a day. You will feel so good. What did he say?
This just in: pigeons are flying rats.
Pigeons are flying rats. Mm-hmm. And rats are what?
According
Crawling
to the
pigeons?
Encyclopedia Divinica.
What's that say?
Well, also, you can, if it gets really bad, you can just drive up to Mount Mitchell, because it's going to be 20 degrees cooler, and just hang up there for the day.
And and the
And
breeze,
just to know
the breeze will
that,
get you.
if it gets really bad, like if it gets up to 90, just get in your car or get on your bicycle and go up to Mount Mitchell and hang out up there. It's gonna be cool. It
Right.
might even be cold.
Right. And another thing, another trick, if you don't know, if you're not from here, you don't know, but if there's a breeze anywhere in this town, it will be up at the monument. If there's a breeze in the town, the breeze will be up at the monument around
Which
the
monument?
the
the
Vance
Pack
Monument.
Square?
Yeah, Pack
Vance-
Square,
Vance-
between Pack Square and
Because those
and the
buildings
BB&T building.
tunnel just like
Mhm.
if you squirt a water hose,
Okay.
put your thumb on the
Mhm.
edge of it, and it makes it go shh.
Well,
makes it
anyway,
tunnel in
if
through
there's a
there.
breeze anywhere in town, there'll be one right up there. And you can just be a block away from that and be hot, and you can walk another block right up to there, and you'll find a cooling
Magic
breeze.
cooling breeze.
And that's just a good place on a hot summer day to just go and sit and be cooled down by the breeze.
And if you had some iced tea, you could be sipping on that too.
That's true, or a mint julep, right?
Or mint julep.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Or iced coffee.
I bet you know. Do you know how to make a mint julep? I bet you do. It's really a very simple recipe.
Oh yeah. Just need some fresh mint, some sugar, and some whiskey. Good old whiskey, bourbon.
Bourbon.
Hmm.
So when my human incarnation was younger, I grew up in Asheville, and as a Boy Scout, I've explored all of the various high altitude hideaways and trails and waterfalls and
Mhm.
swimming holes, and since I've been back, I've been trying to make some weekend excursions back up there because I've been to all of the trails around, but I don't remember where I was exactly. You know, I have the names and the images floating around in my
So
head.
you've not been able to find these places?
I
again?
have.
Oh, you
I've been
Okay.
each weekend. I get a chance to. I go up there and kind of revisit.
Well,
a
are you
place I've
taking your
been.
camera and filming these?
No, but I
places?
should be.
You should
I'm
be.
not field gear certified yet. I have one more Wednesday.
Are you going in? Are you going swimming and stuff like that, or you
I
Just
haven't yet.
hike up and look at it?
Well, I go backpacking up there, and just had time for one night trips. But you
Mhm.
know, just
Are you going by yourself, or do you have friends to go
I
along?
have a friend, or I have various friends, and but yeah, I went up on the Parkway and I hiked from Black Balsam Knob up to Shining Rock, and I had one of my dad's old maps, which is you wouldn't think a trail would change a lot, but you know, one little thing can can lose your way, and
the map was old.
well, yeah, it was old, and we took a wrong turn and turned a 4-mile hike into an 8-mile hike, you know, and nothing serious, and we still found camp, but you talk about the mountain stream. We were up there, and where there were streams on the map, it was just a drop of water coming off of a rock or something up there, very very dry, and I don't know if it's ever more than
it
that,
has been dry
but
for
it
a while.
has. So
Well, we were officially in a drought,
Yeah.
so you know we've
Right.
are 12
Was there a
inches
stream
below our
bed?
normal water.
yeah, there was a stream bed, but as far as purifying water, we just had to find a little, you know, a small
trickle.
hole no bigger than this, you know, this mug, and just, you know, stick the thing and
Yeah.
pump it.
It's
but
really interesting that even though we're in a drought and we're like 12 inches below our normal waterfall for up to this time of the year,
Mhm.
our reservoir is still only like 2 feet
Yeah.
below where it's supposed to be.
I heard Robin Cape sing that a few
Really?
weeks ago.
And we've had a little rain, which we're real pleased
Thank
to
goodness,
have.
'cause
Yeah,
that was-
last week was very wet.
Was it?
Yeah, wasn't it? It was
Can
rainy
you
all
grab
week.
me the big pot, the big teapot?
So let's talk about
can
that
can
that
even pour tea.
political discussion that happened prior to URTV going off the air for a while. I think it was your last tea party before for the hiatus, when they were talking about the immigration thing. Mr. Yelton and
Oh,
Mr.
well, you have a
Connor
copy of it, so you've been
Yes.
you've been looking
I
at
looked
it.
at it,
Yeah.
and you know what
Well, what do you
happened
think
to
about
me?
it? Yeah,
Here's
what?
what happened to me.
What?
Mr. Yelton was so obnoxious in his approach, and was so like scare tactic. It changed my mind, and I wanted every Latino that ever wanted to come here to come.
Really?
Yeah.
That gave you that. So he convinced you to be in favor of Latino immigration.
Absolutely, because
Okay.
he was such a put off.
I see.
That's what happened to me, and it happened to my gentleman friend too. He felt the same way. We said, after you saw that, did you want more Mexican people to be coming here? He said, yes.
Okay.
Which I don't think was the result that he wanted, because I was a little
I don't think
ambivalent
it
before
was.
then.
I don't think that was what he was after. I'm gonna go get some more. You have to hold down the fort again, so you can talk about that. Now I noticed something though. I have to say that in shows that I believe some that involve Mr. Yelton and some that involved Richard, I have noticed that they'll say things like, well, AGR doesn't anything good come out of that, or something like that, and I was just gonna say that I would hope that we wouldn't have someone criticize any of our programming, and that everybody would be glad for all the programming that we get, including Mr. Yelton's show and Richard's show, that we would be glad for them. They have a show, Citizens Speak, on Wednesdays.
It's a 2 or 3 hour show.
Don't they have my old daytime slot 4 to
7.
4 to 7? I think 4 to 7 on Wednesdays. So be sure and see that 4 to 7 on Wednesdays. And if they and as they say, if you hear anybody say something you don't like, call up and tell them about it. Because I think that's where I got that line from, more or less. I mean, I kind of paraphrase. I'm going to go get some more water here, because I've noticed we've got enough time to make one more pot of tea, don't we?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right. There's still a little bit of there's a little shine of black left in there, but we're about out other than that. So.
Okay, so here's my thoughts on the immigration issue.
You gonna try this?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it. So.
All right.
Here's the thing that I think: if you're afraid of immigration because the people are getting the jobs that maybe your kids were going to get, it's kind of like expecting the river to stop flowing to think that immigration to America is going to stop, because people with a lot of money, they want that cheap labor. And whenever your kids were, or whenever my grandparents were the cheap labor, that was for the mills and for the industry around the country. But since then, the even cheaper labor has moved into the country, and if you think that your children are going to be able to make a living the way their grandparents did, or even their parents did, without getting out and learning some new ways of making a living, then you're kind of deluding yourself. I don't think that the immigration thing is going to stop anytime soon. And I doubt very seriously if we can send all those people back that are here. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. So it would be a good thing to go out and get some training and not be thinking that they're taking over your jobs, which I think really is the underlying issue here, is a fear that the immigrants are going to be taking over a certain level of jobs that have always been available to Americans in the past. And I think that's probably true, that's going to happen.
Hi, how you doing?
Who are you?
My name's Chris. I'm also a member of your TV.
Yeah, and if the server's not gonna come up, I'll stay on for a while. I'll go another hour or something if it takes that to run through its files. So was there much fuss? Please have a seat and find a clean teacup there.
Okay. Yeah, some look used. I don't know if you have people come and go here. Hi, I'm Brian.
I am Davine.
This is a used. Well, I'm gonna get some new teacups here.
Oh, my favorite cookies in the world.
They're not bad either.
They are not at all.
Yeah, I'm getting hungry. Mini double chocolate.
Did you hear us talking about? No, you didn't hear us talking about particle beam accelerators. That was the other day.
I didn't get a chance to listen to the show too much.
You didn't get a chance to listen.
Yeah.
Is that like those round things in the molecule here? Is that what you're talking about?
Hmm?
Is that like those round things in the molecule here? Is that what you're talking about?
Sort of. It is a molecular kind of thing, particle, molecular particles, yeah.
So, what have you discussed today?
Well, today
I just
we
got
did-
through doing a soliloquy on we can't stop the immigration thing. It's here. It's not going away.
So
Get over it.
live with it, basically.
With it? What did you think about the immigration bill that was?
It's just a
Stop.
delay tactic. It's nothing's. I mean, not doing anything is also a decision.
Right, and people don't notice that it's a decision.
Well, they said one of the reasons the bill was defeated was because the uproar of all the people calling in, emailing, blah. They had to shut the switchboard down in Congress.
But not making a decision leaves
Right.
things at the status quo.
Okay, now, tell us your name,
My name's Chris.
and I believe you're a member here, aren't you?
I definitely am. Yes.
Are you going to be working on a show?
I'm actually gonna do the next. I don't know if it's right after this at 8. I'm gonna be on a live show, so I get to show my face
From this room or from the other room?
from Studio A
Studio A at 8 o'clock?
at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
What's that show?
It's gonna be called Cinematics. I don't know if the viewers out there it's been lately. It's been going on live.
Have that big TV. Good. Keep talking.
It's been going on live. It was going on actually, recorded and then put on the air. But then, different complications. I don't want to speak because I'm not the producer of it, so I don't want to speak too much of it. But it's going live, and it's basically, in case all the viewers are wondering, which I'm sure they are, it's about making films, or short films rather. Where to find locations, where to find actors, all that kind of thing. Stuff that a lot of people that want to get into film should know. So.
That sounds great.
Yeah, it is. I hope that, I'm a little bit nervous, to be honest with you. This is my second every second right now is my first time being on live television. And I never understood, I didn't want to be, on live television before because I was afraid to, and now I'm ready to, take it a step further.
I think there's a little China black left in there. Yeah. If you want to try, it's not hot.
Oh, that's all right. I've
How about
actually.
you? Would you care for some?
Let's see a taste of it.
All right.
Sure.
But there'll be fresh. There'll be other tea coming in as soon as the water.
So
Yeah,
what's
so
your
that's-
cinematic experience that you're able to have a show teaching people how to make their films?
And the
Well,
sweeteners and things too.
it's actually not as much my experience as it is the actual host. I've had a little bit of